yeah. Oh, heck. Oh, God, look at all of them. God, we're doubled up. Double. We both got them. Look at all of them. Look at all of them. Look at this black up under it. Look, they're all trying to, look, I lost mine and he's still trying to get it. Another one tried to get it. You got a big back here. Fire that first time. Whoa, that's a good. What's going on, YouTube? If you remember my last segment, we talked a little bit about finding fish with our electronics. You know, starting to get into the summer period of the year, I start to rely on things that we're seeing with our graph a lot more than we do with our visual eyes. And I start to get into the months of June, July, August, all the way through the fall. I'm going to start to use my electronics a lot. And if you missed that segment, I'll leave a link in the description box for you guys to go back so you can see exactly how I find a lot of these places that you're going to see in this particular video. It is the first part of June. It is a highly anticipated time of the year for anybody that lives in my area of the country. We get that full-blown topwater bite, and it's going. It's finally, it's on. It's really on right now. Check it out. I hope you like it. Leave me a comment, share, like, subscribe. This video is probably one of the most exciting ones for me. It's visual, it's hardcore, it's full-on bad. So check it out. Catching fish on the topwater season of the year. 25, but like a lot of these we're catching is, they're like in 45. Oh God, did you see that? God, dude, that was crazy. They kind of like, they barely jumped once. It'll be like a series of pushing bait, jumping. Oh, there he is. Oh, oh, look, oh, got it. Look, they're still trying to get it. There's one behind me trying to get it. There's one behind me. He's still trying to get it out of their mouth. Oh, he come on. Watch no one. I told you that. Look at him. Dude, look, you got one. Look at them all under that bait. Isn't that a trip?
That's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, I tell you, dude, this, you'll go, come on up here. There you got it. Swing. I'm going hard now. Around that way. There you go. It will definitely be thank you. Jeez. Now he wanted it. He ate that. These pliers. See him up there like 10 foot, 15 foot. Should have hit it. I mean, there's like 30 fish right there. Look at all of them. Got it. Got it. Small one. Look at all of those fish. I thought he was in the boat and he jumped back down. You know, I thought it was over with and he decided he had a little bit more. That Seaguar is strong line. I use this line called Grand Max, 9.8 pound test. It's like the strongest stuff ever. There he is. Look at all those fish though. I probably shouldn't have turned that one back because now he's going to swim off and then all the rest of them are going to go with him. No, oh, there they are on that side. Usually on this side. No, I don't know. Not here on this one today. There's the brush right there and there's nothing over it. Oh, there they are. Oh God. Dude, did you see that? God. Like they were bumping it and then he finally got it. That's a good one too. Throw in there behind there. There should be more with them because they're usually chasing. That is so cool. That's a big old spot. Oh, look at all of them. Look at all of them. See all those fish? Look at all of them. That's what I was telling you. Oh, he's got like one hook in there. I'm gonna try to swing this one. There you go. That's a good one. Try to keep them up off the carpet as best I can. All right. Awesome. Perfect. I like that. That's a pretty one. Just let him go back here. And it's fun catching them on that swim bait. What we're targeting is very, very specific. Like I said, I'm usually going to be using my graphs to be my eyes under the water, finding underwater structure, brush piles, road beds, laydowns, timberlines, things like that. And all of those things is exactly what I'm fishing in this particular segment here. You know, it's kind of weird. Usually when you're thinking about fishing during the warmer periods of the year, when you're thinking about fishing in June, July, August, a lot of times you think the bite is going to be better first thing in the morning. Well, that's not the case. When you're talking about fishing, especially on a blueback herring lake, as that sun gets up, the herring and the fish position is so much better. We're catching suspended fish. All these fish are going to be suspended. I'm catching some of them even over 50 or 60 foot of water. The sweet spot is somewhere between 25 and 30, but it's not unusual to catch fish 25, 40, 45, 50 foot of water. And in order for you to get those fish to suspend so you can catch them like how we're catching them on this segment, top waters, big lunkin type top waters, noisy big top waters, how we're catching them. You need those fish to suspend over that high, over that deep water, and in order to have that, you have to have the sun. So later in the day, 9:30, 10 o'clock, I usually don't even start these trips until later in the day. Oh, look at him. Oh, look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Oh, he missed it. He missed it. Why you have to miss it? You don't have to miss it. Oh, Jeffrey! Oh, brought him to the boat. Spotted bass. They love that gunfish, man. Gunfish is a little spot. Let me help you get him off there. Let him. Oh, there they are. There they are. Oh God, look at all them fish, dude. There's like 30 of them right there. Got it. The stupid white bass got the bait. Dude, there's fish everywhere. No, the bass are right here. The stupid white bass got it. The white bass and the spots are running together. And I catch, it's like 3-pound spots with it. I catch the white bass. Not a white bass, but a little hybrid. Trash fish. Oops, probably shouldn't show the bloody side. And they acting a little boogerish. Got him? There you go, Jeff. Oh, come off. It's all right. Drop it back down there. There they go, following it down. Can see them. Got it. Pretty decent one too. Not that big. He was just pulling drag like he was a monster. That is actually, God, look, he spit up another worm. Look at that. He spit up another worm, actually. That is not your typical spotted bass. I don't know, we got so many crossbreeds between red eyes, Alabama spotted bass, and God knows what else out here. There's actually a bunch of different species of spotted bass. They're not all just the true Alabama spotted bass. There they go, there they go, there they go, there they go. Get out there to them. There they go. I tell you, they at least gotta show themselves. Go ahead, get in there. You want to get in there quick. You don't want to wait. Oh, Jeffrey! God almighty, look at all of those fish on that grab. And not a single one touching. Got him. Got him. Little babies. Peanuts, peanut gallery. I can make peanut butter out of you because you're a peanut. Ouch, that hurt. No. You know, one thing this is important to understand about any time you're fishing offshore structure on a blueback herring lake is move. So many times I hear people say, well, is that topwater bite going? Is that offshore bite going? They say, well, I fished it to 10 o'clock, we didn't get a bite, and then we started fishing docks. This is a pattern that you have to commit to. You have to keep moving. In 5-hour trip, in some of my 5-hour trips, I may fish 25 or 30 places. I never stay much longer than 5 to 10 casts. You know, when you make those first 5 or 6 casts on some of these places that you've found, that you've marked, you've already did your homework, it doesn't take long for you to know if that fish is there. The first 5 or 6 casts, those fish are A, they're going to show themselves by coming up, schooling, busting on shad. B, they're going to show themselves by blowing up on your bait, or you're going to see them on your graph. And if you see neither of those 4, you probably need to move on to your next spot. But there's not big schools of fish on these little places. These are very specific places. You're talking about brush piles that may be about the size of the front deck of your boat, or you know, not very big, the size of your truck. That's a huge brush pile. And there's not big, massive groups of fish on these places. There may be 8, 9, 10, 15 fish, 20 fish. That sounds like a lot, but it's not when you're talking about somewhere that's really specific. 15 or 20 fish, that's not a lot of fish for one area. So they're going to show themselves really quick. They're going to be aggressive. You're going to look for those fish that are ready to bite. So you're going to fish a lot of places. 15, 20 casts, go. Especially if you're talking about a deep, clear lake. They have tons of this offshore structure, whether it be points, timber lines, brush piles. There's plenty of it. You cannot fish it all in a lifetime worth. So you're going to have plenty of places to run, and timing is important. You need to just jump from hole to hole to hole. That's the important part, to stay persistent with this style of fishing. Oh, I saw all them big ones too, boy. Oh, that is the biggest one of the day. Oh, man. Look at that. God, is that a big old largemouth? Let's see. I can't tell either. Yeah, that's a big one. Oh my God! I'm gonna try to help you with that. Oh, I'll just bring him to me some more. I got it. I got that big old sucker. I got that big old sucker. Be careful, it's gonna shake. So. Oh, that's a big one, boy. Oh, that's a big one. That's why you keep running these places, man, because eventually you're gonna run into one of them. Goodness gracious. He got an old gunfish down his throat. You gonna need the pliers on that one? Dude, finally one of the good ones. Oh, sucker there. Golly. Hold on. That's a good one there, buddy. Look at all the ones with it. One tried to get the daggum drop shot out of his mouth. Look at him down there. Drop it right down there. Drop it down there. You see him? Look at him. Yeah.
You see? Drop it, drop it. Yeah, that's crazy. He's trying to get the jump shot out of his mouth. Fish down there. Pretty decent one. Dropping down in some timber.
And if you'll do a little bit of homework, if you'll take a day or a day and a half, 4 or 5 hours even, just to go mark a few places, do your homework, use your graphs. You don't have to have the fanciest of graphs to find these places, but if you'll do a little homework, you can find them. Take the right baits. I don't use a lot of baits when I'm fishing like this. I use a couple different top waters. I use a couple different hard swim baits, a drop shot, and sometimes a soft plastic swim bait. That's all I do. Sometimes they're real finicky. If you got, there's not a lot of wind, a swim bait may be better than a top water. If you got a lot of wind, they suspend up high. Are they schooling? A lot of times you'll pull up to these places, you won't see anything on a graph, but they'll still show themselves by busting on shad or blueback herring. And so that's how you pick your baits out accordingly. So, get 3 or 4 of those confidence baits and move. The biggest factor in this style of fishing is moving, moving, moving. I'm going to say that so much when you're talking about fishing this way.
I mean, just think about like you ever flush like I don't know what you call it. Oh, God, look at all those fish, man. Throw in there. Look at all of them. Dude, there's so many fish right there. Look at them. Look at all of them. Look at all those fish. Look at all of them. Look at all that bloat. Look at that. Look at all those fish. That is crazy. Dude, that was what, 20 fish right there. I got a largemouth too. Dude, some of them are big ones.
The one that come up beside that one and then went this way was bigger than that one.
I mean, some of the fish were big ones. Man, that's fun. Fishing these timber lines off the ends of these points. They don't get you fit. You fish a lot of hours without getting bit. And when you get bit, it's chaos. Absolute chaos. Did you see all of them, Jim? Unreal, man. That was like, I gotta figure out a better way to follow up with that. There was so many of them right there. Oh yeah, oh heck, oh God, look at all of them. God, we're doubled up. Double. We both got them. Look at all of them. Look at all. Dude, it's black up under it. Look, they're all trying to. Look, I lost mine and he's still trying to get it. Another one tried to get it. You got a big spot. You got a big spot in your back here. That is a big one. Don't you get them hooks in your hand. Hold on. Don't get your hooks in there. Oh, that's a big one. Hold on. That is a real big one. Pop some slack. That's a real big spot there. Fire that first time. Whoa, that's a good, real good, thick spotted bass. Yeah. That's why I see, like, you're gonna catch that size, like the 3 or 4 pounders, but once you get much bigger than that, it's hard to catch that kind offshore. Oh, I'm biggin'. Look at this. Oh, that's a big one. Come on. Come on. Look. Dude, that was a freaking 5-pounder. Dude, that was a freaking 5-pound bass. I lost him. There was nothing I could do about it. He just come up and shook it. Did you see all them fish come through the boat and I still almost caught one after that one come off?
I thought that's what it was going to do.
Oh, I still almost got one. They're all under. Let's see if I can drop it. That was big. Oh, look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Oh, yeah. Oh, get it. Yeah. Dude, that craft is so fun. That's a small one. It's not a real small. Oh, don't jump. It's so hard to catch them. You gotta have braid to work the bait right. But then it works against you once you got him on. Look at them all with him. That's a pretty good spot. It's so hard to fight. You just hope that they come up and get another hook in when they're fighting. He's got one hook. God, that's a fat spot. That is a fat spot right there. And he got it. Like he got it. Big old fat, nasty spotted bass right there. I love them things. I just love the way they look, the way they shape, the way they fight. Fun thing.
All of these baits I'm going to fish as fast as I can. You know, when you're fishing a blueback herring lake, clear water fishery, and more specifically when there's spotted bass involved, moving your bait fast is very, very important. I'm going to tell you why. You're going to notice a lot of the fish that come to blow up on my bait, they miss it once, miss it twice, miss it 3 times. You never set the hook on these fish. You just keep reeling, keep working that bait, and eventually want to get them. There's a competition aspect to this bite. You know, you're pulling up 15, 20 fish at a time, and even though one fish may not get the bait, eventually 1 or 2 of them is going to get it. There's that competition aspect, and you just hope that you get the right size one. So especially when they start to get a lot of pressure on that offshore structure, color matters, profile matters, and size matters. So I'm going to have a couple different sizes of topwater baits, and then we'll have a couple different sizes of swim baits. You know, I like those bigger swim baits. The stutter step is a big whopping, flopping bait. You know, it moves a lot of water. The Gunfish this is Gunfish 110. You know, I like to have a couple different sizes. All 3 of these baits that I like to use. This is a duo pencil 110. It has a totally different action and water displacement factors than the stutter step, and the stutter step is much different than the Lucky Craft Gunfish. All of them are totally different, and I think on certain days I've noticed that those fish commit to one of the bait or the other much better. So, you know, it's important to have a couple different options, because sometimes that can be the difference between getting one to blow up on it or getting a whole school of 5 or 10, 15 fish to blow up on the bait, and actually getting that first one to bite it, you know. And like I said, on these schools, when they come up, a lot of times there's going to be a 1.5 pound, 2 pound fish in there, and there's 3 or 4 pound fishes that roam in the same groups. And having the right size, a bigger topwater, is the way to get those bigger fish to commit to your bait. So that's a little bit about how I like to fish during the post-spawn period of the year on a clear blueback herring lake, and more specifically the early summer patterns. Those fish love to get offshore, and it's the most exciting bite that you'll have all year long is catching those fish. It's completely visual, but it is a workout. You got to put your work in. It's a lot of steps involved before you actually get to cast and catch some of these fish. So get out there and try it. Use your electronics. Let your electronics be your eyes. Spend some time finding some of that offshore structure. Come back and fish and find a lot of places, because you're going to need them. They don't always set up exactly perfectly on these offshore places. It's fun, guys. I promise you. You can tell by all the excitement that I had in this video. So I hope this helps you guys out. Make sure that you check the description box for links to all the equipment that I use in this video. And as always, I'm going to have a detailed segment that goes along with this video that shows you exactly the bait, the rod, the reel, the line, show you exactly how I'm setting up on these places. So maybe it'll help you be a little bit more efficient.